Katira, what are you seeing where you are?
We are seeing humongous crowds. As you mentioned, this is a similar site when we talk about just how many people are out here. I'm going to start weaving us in and out of the crowd. They've marched for about the last hour and a half. They started here, at Circle at the Monument, and they've walked all throughout downtown for about an hour, I want to say, stopping at intersections, and they've made their way back here to the Circle yet again. You can hear them chanting right now, hands up, don't shoot. Obviously, many of these types of protests are happening across the country in relation to George Floyd's death. But we also want to hear, we also heard from people here, they're talking about Drayshawn Reed. He's the man who was killed by police several weeks ago. So it's kind of a combination of all of the emotions across the country kind of coming together in these different cities across the country. And now this is what we have here in the Circle City. You have people from all backgrounds here. Although this is a Black Lives Matter rally, you have people from all ethnic groups out here in support, calling for change, calling for justice, saying the shooting was not right. But again, just take in all these people who are here right now. This is a lot of people from the steps of the monument, down on the ground, down onto the sidewalks, just so many people here expressing how they feel about all this. And, you know, even with coronavirus, people may say, why are they out here in these large crowds? They say it's that important for them to come out here and let their voices be heard. Some people are wearing masks, some people are not, but they say it's worth the risk if it means to push for some type of change. We just walked over here to Pennsylvania and Washington, and there is trash burning in the street. Now, I also smell something in the air. I'm not quite sure if that's like leftover smoke from the fire or if that's something from the tear gas. Now, we already saw the smoke coming up the walkway. Okay, and it's starting to dissipate, so I can talk a little better. But we see a dumpster on fire. Not quite sure what that is in the middle of the street, just burning right now. We see another dumpster over there that's upturned. Not sure what's going on right now, but people are kind of on both corners. If we can, I don't want to take you off of this just in case that's something I can't tell, but on each corner here, there are a lot of people. Sorry guys, I don't know if that's the tear gas that's kind of hitting me a little bit right now, but you can still see some police is not as strong. The tear gas isn't as strong as it was as I mentioned earlier, but it's still definitely impactful. But there are police officers on the street here still with their safety gear on as these fires just burn, with no attempt right now to even try to put them out. I'm not sure what the next course of action would be. I don't know what it's burning right now. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Now it's starting to smell sort of like plastic burning.
Okay, Katira, we'll let you take a break as well. I know that this is a lot to handle for our crews downtown.
Yeah, Nina, in the last 5 minutes ago when you guys tried to come to us, police had just let off tear gas. I don't know if you could see the redness in my eyes. That was intense. And we were running away when it happened. And so that initial blast of tear gas cleared out that corner of Washington and Pennsylvania. But as soon as the smoke cleared, the crowd started gathering there yet again. In the last couple of minutes, police cars have continued to come up and down the street. You still have protesters out here still going back even after the tear gas. So it's only just a short little break. That tear gas breaks up that crowd, but then they're going right back in. These protesters are out here for the long haul today. We're going to keep on trying to walk back to Washington and Pennsylvania. As I mentioned, the tear gas has cleared, but who knows when it'll come back again, because things are starting to get rowdy again. I don't know if you heard that big bang. We're walking to the corner. I'm not sure what that was. We are almost there, but as I showed you earlier, there was a trash bin on fire. It looks like that fire has spread. There looks like there's more fires happening. The dumpster that was knocked over earlier, it's now in the middle of the street, and it is also burning. Oh my gosh, this is just a really intense sight to see when you see all of these people still in the middle of the road, the fires burning, the police coming up and down the street. Definitely a wild time. As Richard mentioned, he's lived in Indianapolis for a long time. I don't know what that bang was, but we're gonna back up a little. I've never seen anything like this before either, and I grew up here off and on since I was about 8 years old. So I'm going to send it back to you guys. Hey, Nina, I'm actually back here at Washington and Pennsylvania, and you would have heard from Troy Tate earlier today had our story, had things not changed, and you would have gotten to see the story we put together from earlier. But tell us what you were saying just about the changes in this protest versus the one you mentioned about Colin Kaepernick.
As I was saying before, this is a protest displaying the anger, the hurt, and the pain.
Thank you so much, Troy, for talking to us. And I don't know if when you heard what we were talking for him, someone just went ahead and broke out the rest of the glass here at Five Guys. As you mentioned, or as I spoke to him earlier, that was kind of the same story or sentiment he was sharing with me about peaceful protests and feeling like that wasn't getting anybody anywhere. And so this is just another type of protest that everyone isn't on board with, but they say sometimes this is what it leads to. As you can see, more windows are being broken out. People are still very upset out here. We are definitely going to try to be safe out here as we move around and show you this, but definitely an interesting, unusual time, unprecedented time. I don't know what just happened, but we're going to send it back to you because things are getting a little shaky out here.
Katira, do you know what they used to break out that window? We saw that happen.
Someone has a hammer. Someone has an actual hammer, and they are breaking out the window. Now, there was windows already broken already. I don't know what was used, but that particular time just now, someone had a hammer in their hands. As again, it was more than one person from what I could tell doing it, so I don't know if there were other objects being used, but I definitely saw a hammer. Okay, it just sounded like they put out some more tear gas. The crowd just started scattering. You just missed the biggest wave of people just run past us. Every so often you hear glass shattering in the distance. More and more businesses and buildings are being vandalized. I just heard another, something that sounded like it was about to be broken. I don't know what that banging noise is, but it's happening. And I don't know how far away the tear gas has been deployed, but I'm starting to hear or smell the remnants of it. Okay, now we're really hearing that glass break. Oh gosh. Okay, so right over here now, there's something else that just broke. Not quite sure. As I said, it's so much happening over here. It's hard to tell where it's happening, who's doing it. We just know we're constantly hearing bangs, constantly hearing glass break. People are running. People are standing here protesting. People are yelling. It is a whirlwind of different emotions out here. And I'm starting to smell that tear gas a little bit, but thank goodness it's not as strong as it was the first time it hit me in the face. Oh, wow. Okay, you can see them over there at the Five Guys now. Those, okay, that's a big one. Someone just took what appears to be a rock and broke out that entire side window. Across the, I'm going to ask Alex to turn us over there.
That was shots fired.
Was that shots? Okay, Alex thinks that's shots fired. We're going to run, guys. Hey, Nina, things are still just as wild as it's been all night. You can see we're going to walk a little bit more down the street. Glass is continuing to be broken out over here at Bodacious Barbecue. It looks like some glass is broken out there. Coming up here on my right, Huntington, I believe Huntington Bank. Alex, can we take a look at this building right here? Take a look at here. It looks like people have been inside. The glass is shattered. This whole side panel is broken out. Oh wow, even more over here. All of these glasses, these windows have been broken out. You can even see if you peek inside the actual building, some of the cubicles glass is broken out. Things are turned over. There's a spray paint on the wall here that says "I can't breathe." Even on the truck that police have used to block the street, it has George's name, George Floyd's name on there, who's the guy who was killed. George, one is possibly for George Floyd and the other is for Drayshawn Reed, the person who was killed here in the Circle City a few weeks ago. Definitely have this area has cleared out some, but I can imagine all around us on other streets, things are looking intense still. Oh, police just shot off something. Oh, and they just threw it back at him. Oh no, that was a water bottle. Things are definitely intense out here. I just saw police throw another flash bomb? I'm not sure. That might be smoke. That's gas. We're going to need to run because this is going to be really painful. So we're going to find out what we can and get back to you guys. But hey, Nina, yes, you just saw us. We had to move from that area down there. Trying to make out. Okay, we got to go, guys.
Try talking to Katira one more time. Katira?
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was a tear gas canister. You saw that all-terrain, it looks like an all-terrain vehicle. That was a tear gas canister that they threw out. I thought it had dissipated some, but it's really hitting me. Still not as bad as it could be, but it was definitely enough to get people moving around, but not completely cleared out. You see, we're still here. You see people are walking down the block. Still destruction happening. Still people out here protesting, causing quite a bit of damage. Police have had a busy night. These tear gas canisters have been going off nonstop. And as I mentioned before, each time they're thrown and the smoke clears, the protesters come right back out here. So these are just slight delays in what's going on out here. Alex is looking in this trash can. It's finally looks like it's dying down, but earlier this thing was smoldering. It was on fire. Alex, if we can take a look over here, it looks like one of those rubber wheels on the dumpster or something is still burning. But just look how this is really smoldering. Okay, someone is driving by saying that they're tear gassing. This is something that's been happening all evening, all night. I'm not sure what this gentleman is doing over there with the dumpsters, but he's lifting them up. I don't know if he's trying to dump them and cause more flames or what, but definitely a wild evening. It's not calming down by a long shot. Nina, I don't know if you have anything you specifically want to ask me about it, but things are definitely intense here.
Well, we are seeing some more police officers head in. Does it seem like they're going to any certain place? Because it does seem at this point that the crowd has dispersed a bit.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell where police are going if they're just coming up and down the street to just show their presence. The only time that I can really tell where they are is when you see the officers actually standing in groups in the middle of the street, kind of trying to direct everything. But I just see cars or police cars peeling back and forth. Not really sure where it's going on. It kind of leads you to believe, is there something happening over here that we need to go check out? Is someone hurt? So it's a lot of unknowns where they're going, but definitely staying busy, whatever it is that they're doing. Hey guys, I think it's important to point out that there are some people out here who are still very much peaceful, not causing any damage. As a matter of fact, looks like someone's in the middle of the street trying to clear it out. We talked earlier about how that dumpster was on fire in the middle of the road. There have been people who've moved the dumpster out of the road. They're out there trying to stomp out the smoke and stomp out the fire. They just left, but you may see someone go over there. But initially it was a dumpster blocking the center of the road right there. You can still see some of the trash, but people are already out here trying to get some of that debris out of the way. But when you have people doing things like this to try to clear it up, you turn around and you look over here and you see all of the glass panels just broken out from one side all the way to the front. And this is a similar scenario that's played out all around downtown Indianapolis tonight. People definitely high with emotions and feelings and just letting it out some way or the other. And police have been out here also trying to get people to start to disperse. It's worked in some instances, but in many cases, as soon as the tear gas smoke leaves, people start coming back. But for a while now, this particular intersection here at Washington and I believe Pennsylvania, there's been pockets of people coming back, but not huge swarms like we first saw when we started this off tonight. But again, a lot of damage, but we have seen a few people try to come together and remove some of that debris out of the road to hopefully make it a little bit safer. But again, definitely a whirlwind of emotions and different emotions out here.